Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. And today I'm up to song number 2586, and that one is Hard to Say I'm Sorry by Chicago. This one went all the way to number one in 1982, spent a couple weeks at number one, and I believe it was one of the biggest hits of the year. Not one of my favorites by Chicago. I prefer most of their earlier music from the 70s. And it was also featured on their album Chicago 16. They were known for numbering all their albums. I guess there's just a couple exceptions. The first album was called Chicago Transit Authority. At that time, that was the name they were using. But then I guess the actual Chicago Transit Authority made them change the name, so they just called themselves Chicago. And their second album was called Chicago. I guess later they renamed it Chicago 2. And after that, they just numbered all their albums. I think there was one other exception. Chicago 12 was called Hot Streets. But they've had about 40 albums, and they're numbered every other one in order. A little interesting tidbit about them. Here's a picture of the band Chicago around the time they recorded Hard to Say I'm Sorry. Um, and, I've already featured, I think this is the fifth song by the band Chicago I've already featured on this feature. So I'm not going to talk about the band anymore. But they are one of my favorite bands. I mean, I saw them, and I got to hear them at concert twice. I saw them at the Taste of Chicago, I think back in 1986 when I was living in Chicago. Every summer around the 4th of July, they have a 10-day event in Grand Park. They call it the Taste of Chicago. And they had a live concert there. I got to see them live, and they were pretty fantastic. And I also heard them. I wasn't able to see them because I was too far away, but just a couple of years ago, I saw them in one of the suburbs of San Diego. I can't remember what it was called, but I got to hear them at this. They were playing near this hotel where I was visiting a friend of mine. So, pretty fantastic band, and they still sound great today. And now I'm just going to talk about this song, Hard to Say I'm Sorry. Like I said, not one of my favorites of theirs. It's just kind of a simple song about heartbreak. He's singing that, Peter Cetera, he's the lead singer on the song, as he is on most of Chicago's songs. And he's just, I guess complaining because his girlfriend wants to take a holiday, just wants to take a break from their relationship. And I think that's pretty common today. But I guess in the song, he's very heartbroken about it. He wants to stay with her. And so he thinks he did something wrong. He says, hold me now. It's hard for me to say I'm sorry. I don't want to let you go. I just want you with me. So, okay song. Not one of my favorites of theirs, like I said. I guess one more thing I should say about it was they had about a 4 year hiatus. There was, I think, 4 years where they didn't have any top 40 hits. The previous one before this one was Alive Again in 1978. I think that one went to number 14. And I did feature that one. That was actually the first song on my list that I featured by Chicago. Came in at number 2939. So, but I've got plenty more songs on my list by Chicago. Like I said, one of my favorite groups. And you'll see plenty more of their songs featured on this channel. So, anyway, that completes my profile of Hard to Say I'm Sorry by Chicago. Thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.